The male body functions as a complex dynamic system of over 37 trillion cells working coherently across 11 organ systems, where every heartbeat and neural impulse reflects a continuous biochemical exchange. The brain, only 2% of total body weight, consumes about 20% of oxygen and glucose. 86 billion neurons communicate at up to 120 meters per second, forming the basis of all physiological and emotional responses. Within synapses, dopamine molecules, at concentrations of 300 to 500 nanomoles per liter, bridge gaps of merely 40 nanometers, activating D1 and D2 receptors that regulate motivation and reward processing. The hypothalamus and pituitary act as the central endocrine command pair. A change of just 0.1 microgram in gonadotropin-releasing hormone can alter total testosterone synthesis throughout the body. Each adrenal gland, weighing about 9 grams, secretes cortisol and adrenaline in a 24-hour rhythm. Cortisol peaks near 18 micrograms per deciliter in the morning and falls steadily through the day to maintain alertness. The heart pumps roughly 5 liters of blood per minute, over 7,000 liters daily, each red cell carrying 270 million hemoglobin molecules that deliver oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Circulating hormones represent less than 1/1000th of plasma volume, yet through specific receptors, they trigger cascades of enzymatic reactions that can amplify a single signal 10,000-fold. When neural and endocrine systems synchronize, the body reaches homeostasis. Metabolic oscillations remain within 3%, stabilizing blood pressure, heart rhythm, and thermoregulation. Electrical brain-heart waves of roughly 1 microtesla form the brain-heart axis, linking cortical emotion centers with cardiac rhythm and endocrine flow. In perfect coherence, these oscillations settle around 0.1 Hz, identical to relaxed alpha brainwaves, creating the measurable state of biological calm. Dopamine synthesis occurs mainly in the substantia nigra and ventral tegmental area, where about 400,000 molecules are released each second to transmit reward signals. When dopamine exceeds 1.5 times its baseline, D1 receptors in the striatum heighten activation. fMRI studies show parallel stimulation of the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making hub. Expanded dopamine flow increases cerebral microperfusion by 12 to 15%, a functional hyperemia that allows maximal neural efficiency during motivated states. Heart rate rises by 10 to 15 beats per minute, and plasma endorphins double, maintaining euphoria without neuronal damage. Low doses of dopamine in the bloodstream, around 0.02 Ug per kilo per minute, dilate coronary arterioles and increase myocardial flow by 20%. Deep breathing raises arterial oxygen by about 3%, lowering carbon dioxide and activating baroreceptors to balance excitation and relaxation. As dopamine returns to baseline, enzymes MAOB and CoMT degrade residual molecules. The entire clearance cycle lasts about 2 to 3 minutes. A mild rise in serotonin stabilizes mood, maintaining a dopamine to serotonin ratio near 2.7 to 1, the optimal balance for steady cognition. Hypothalamic sensors monitor hormonal deviations. When fluctuations exceed 5%, pituitary feedback instantly adjusts secretion to restore equilibrium. Once hormones and circulation realign, the neuroendocrine axis returns to balance, reducing anxiety risk by nearly 30%, according to Nature Metabolism 2023. The male circulatory network extends 96,000 kilometers, transporting 5 trillion erythrocytes each minute under systolic pressure near 120 nmol. Testosterone, produced by Leydig cells under luteinizing hormone signals, averages 6 to 7 millimoles daily, yielding serum levels around 600 nang per deciliter in healthy adults. Inside target cells, it binds nuclear receptors and modulates over 300 genes controlling muscle protein synthesis, lipid metabolism, and emotional stability. The heart operates like a biological engine, consuming roughly 2 joules of energy per beat, 20 watts at rest, sustained by mitochondrial oxidation of fatty acids. More than 3.5 billion capillaries, each 8 micrometers wide, form the exchange surface where gases and hormones diffuse precisely to target tissues. Mitochondria, up to 2,000 per muscle cell, regenerate about 65 kilograms of ATP daily, reflecting the immense energy turnover of human metabolism. Pulmonary gas exchange maintains an alveolar oxygen partial pressure near 100 mPa. Each minute, about 250 milliliters of oxygen enter the bloodstream for cellular respiration. When oxygen and hormones converge in the bloodstream, the body reaches peak metabolic efficiency. Studies link high testosterone oxygen coupling to superior VO2 max values. Neural, cardiac, and endocrine feedback loops synchronize. Overall energy efficiency can rise 12% while oxidative stress markers fall 25%. This homeostatic equilibrium keeps vital parameters within plus 5%, protecting performance and emotional stability. Within the central nervous system, the hypothalamus pituitary circuitry encodes neural impulses of about 90 millivolts into hormonal commands, maintaining internal balance. During positive emotional connection, the hypothalamus releases oxytocin. Nature Human Behavior 2023 reports a 3-fold rise in plasma levels, enhancing trust and relaxation. Oxytocin dilates blood vessels by roughly 12%, lowering systolic pressure 8 mmHg and stabilizing cardiac output. In parasympathetic dominance, heart rate slows to 60 BPM, respiration to 10 per minute. In the hippocampus, oxytocin and dopamine jointly enhance neuroplasticity, improving memory and adaptability. Each hormonal pulse lasts about 8 minutes before oxytocin degrades it. Continuous positive feedback keeps the endocrine system synchronized, lowering basal glucose consumption by 5% and promoting tissue regeneration. Under stress, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal HPA axis activates a CRH from the hypothalamus triggers ACTH release, stimulating adrenal cortisol secretion. Cortisol antagonizes insulin, elevating blood glucose to fuel neurons. Physiological serum levels range from 10 to 20 UG/DL, while chronic stress pushes it beyond 25 UG/DL. Excess cortisol disturbs circadian rhythms, suppresses melatonin, and induces insomnia. Sleeping under 6 hours reduces testosterone by 18% and growth hormone by 25%. Chronic stress raises resting heart rate by 10 beats and blood pressure by 10 mmHg. C-reactive protein rises 40%, marking systemic inflammation. Prolonged cortisol exposure inhibits renal 11-HSD2, increasing sodium retention and plasma volume, thus burdening cardiac workload. When stress subsides, adrenal cortisol normalization takes 12 to 24 hours, accompanied by a parasympathetic rebound that redistributes blood flow for recovery. Controlled breathing, inhale 4 seconds, hold 2, exhale 6, activates the vagus nerve, doubling heart rate variability and lowering cortisol by 15% in 5 minutes. As serotonin gradually rises, nitric oxide pathways dilate vessels and improve tissue oxygenation, facilitating biochemical repair. Mitochondria resume full ATP output. Cell Metabolism 2022 shows meditative breathing upregulates PGC1A expression by 25%, enhancing mitochondrial biogenesis. The pituitary restores growth hormone secretion to about 0.5 ng/mL nightly, stimulating protein synthesis and micromuscular recovery. Plasma lactate drops 20% as the Cori cycle reconverts it to glucose, supplying clean energy for neurons. Heart rate stabilizes near 65 beats per minute, pressure 1 to 15 to 75 mmHg, and EEG waves shift from beta to alpha, signifying active relaxation. In deep calm, glial cells intensify waste clearance through the glymphatic system, which doubles efficiency compared with wakefulness. During REM sleep, theta and beta waves alternate while melatonin peaks at 80-100 pg/mL, restructuring synapses and restoring dopamine receptors. Adequate sleep boosts next morning testosterone by 10 to 15%, linking rest directly to energy and hormonal renewal. Immune NK cell activity rises 30%. IL-6-IL-10 ratio drops, indicating a low inflammation state essential for longevity. Daylight suppresses melatonin and elevates serotonin, forming a dual-phase circadian rhythm of wake and rest that synchronizes all endocrine cycles. Moderate aerobic exercise increases cerebral blood flow 20% and BDNF levels, generating new hippocampal neurons and sharper cognition. Balanced nutrition, rich in zinc, omega-3, and vitamin D improves androgen receptor sensitivity and reduces mitochondrial oxidative stress. Hydration is critical. Losing 2% of body water lowers protein synthesis 15% and raises cortisol 25%. Meditation and breath-guided sound therapy reduce beta waves and enhance alpha-theta activity, cutting emotional stress by about 35%. Cellular tranquility activates longevity gene SIRT1 and enhances DNA repair efficiency. Proving relaxation is a physical maintenance mechanism. Hormones, respiration, and circulation synchronize within narrow variance bands, an image of biological happiness, maximum efficiency at minimal energy cost. Harmful habits disturb this harmony. Smoking lowers endothelial nitric oxide 40%. Alcohol suppresses the HPA axis and reduces testosterone 20% within 12 hours. Micronutrient deficiency, zinc, magnesium, vitamin B6, impairs dopamine and serotonin synthesis. Processed diets for 3 months reduce neural reward response by 10%. Physical inactivity slows circulation and decreases heart rate variability below 30 minutes, doubling cardiovascular risk, according to European Heart Journal 2021. Sleeping under 6 hours per night halves melatonin and elevates cortisol 37%, causing chronic fatigue and poor concentration. Continuous overwork lowers prefrontal cortex activity 15%, weakening judgment and increasing impulsive behavior. Yet recovery is possible.